All right. Senator Lindsey Graham, Republican senator from South Carolina, has said a lot of questionable things in his career, but this is near the top. The Republicans, of course, pushed for big business to be helped most. They continue to do that. There's an update on that I'll give you in a second. And they prioritized actual American workers dead last. In fact, now Lindsey Graham says that they will help the unemployed more over his dead body. He literally said that in the middle of coronavirus. So there's a couple of components to this story. First, let me give you the quotes, and then we'll talk about how unfortunate they are. So he says, what have we learned? We learned that when you pay people not to work, they will take you up on it. It doesn't mean they're lazy. It means if you pay $23 to people not to work, they'll probably take that over $17 to go to work, even though people like working. Okay, so let's pause there. So he's saying they don't want to give another $600 in unemployment to people past July 31st, which is where it goes to now, because he says otherwise they won't work. Is that really the problem here, Lindsey? There's 30 million people unemployed over the last couple of months here. You think they all just chose not to work? Do you think they were like, oh, I hear unemployment's paying really well now. I'll quit my job in the middle of coronavirus and I'll just go on unemployment. How mental do you have to be to think that? For God's sake, have a little context, man. So if you say to me, hey, should we pay people $23 an hour not to work? I will say, no, let's not do that. Yes, I understand incentives and disincentives. I run a business. I understand that. In the long run, if unemployment checks pay more than minimum wage does, for example, yeah, you're going to have an issue. First of all, you should bring up minimum wage because minimum wage is preposterous now. It's $7.25 at the federal level. You know how much that is per year? $15,000 a year. How are you supposed to live on $15,000 a year? But Lindsey Graham doesn't want to move up to minimum wage at all. Instead, he wants to bring down your unemployment checks so that you'll suffer even more under unemployment than you would at minimum wage. And when you talk about, hey, we're in the middle of a pandemic here, and 30 million people didn't just quit their jobs, 30 million people just got fired. He's like, nope, over my dead body will we help them more. So wait, where's the exact quote? I got it for you. So he starts with that, then he goes to, so July 31st is when this expires. It doesn't, he says, and I promise you, over our dead bodies, this will get reauthorized. We have to stop this. You cannot turn on the economy until you get this aberration in the law fixed. Okay, so the overwhelming majority of the $6 trillion, $2.2 trillion from the federal government and over $4 trillion from the Federal Reserve went to the largest corporations in the world and the largest banks in the world. The overwhelming majority. The minute we say, hey, how about the people who got fired? How about the actual American citizens you're supposed to represent? Over our dead body, having them get a little extra, what, $600 more? What an aberration. We will not do anything until this aberration is fixed. Because in his mind, helping giant corporations who give him checks is not an aberration. That's democracy. You know, ExxonMobil and Bank of America and Lockheed Martin, they give me money and I serve them. There are oligarchs. Of course, that's normal. Oh, I give $600 to a citizen? What an aberration. Over my dead body. Look, I read you the exact quotes. It's unreal. And he says there's no way they're going to reauthorize anything. You know what the Republicans are trying to pass instead now? And Jonathan Larson wrote about this on TYT.com. He's our managing editor of TYT Investigates. You should go read his article. It's amazing. Mitch McConnell is working overtime to make sure that you're not allowed to sue corporations if they, for example, they make you go back to work in situations that they know to be unsafe. Now, look, there's a ton of lawsuits in America. Are they all justified? Not remotely. So look, guys, they think we're like radical, leftist, etc. No, I know that in the long run, unemployment can't pay more than regular wages. Otherwise, you're going to create a wrong incentive. I know that there are bad lawsuits, tons of them, right? But if you say no lawsuit is allowed, So then they could do whatever they want. So first of all, it's not just about unsafe work environments. There's so many other things too. Protections from banks ripping you off in the middle of coronavirus. Protections for the banks, not from you, not protection for you. Don't get it twisted. That would be an aberration. Protection for the banks. If the banks favor their clients, which I understand, okay, I get why the banks do that. But if they do it in a way that is unfair to the average small business owner, sorry, you're not going to get to sue, okay? Because whatever little protections you have in the law, remember, the government, including under Obama, said the bankers are too big to jail. So they're going to have no criminal penalties under any circumstance. So the only remedy you have for justice in some of the cases is if you go through civil litigation, you sue them. And here the Republicans are saying, there's no way in the world we're going to help the unemployed. But I need to get more protections for the banks from consumers. We need to protect them from the citizens. We need to protect poor multinational corporations from their workers. These Republicans are unreal. Everything these days is out of a B-rate movie. If you put it in a movie, people wouldn't believe it. They'd say, no, that party, it's comic book evil, led by a buffoonish, unreal comic book character, this orange man who has no empathy for anyone and who says the most outlandish things. If you put it in a movie, no one would believe it. But it's not just Donald Trump, guys. It is our entire system of government that has politicians relying on institutionalized, legalized bribes. The reason Mitch McConnell and Lindsey Graham go and kiss the ass of these corporations, but much more importantly, actually pass laws to protect them, and sometimes to protect them from you, okay? Let alone the idea of them helping you, to them is such an affront. It's such an injustice about how could we help an actual unemployed person instead of ExxonMobil over their dead bodies. Look, politically speaking, not physically, not literally, but you should make that happen. You should end their careers. If you vote for a Republican, knowing that they're never, ever, ever going to represent you, you're nuts. You're nuts. Who do they work for? Now, look, I'm unbiased because, I'm one of the very few people in media who tells you what their perspective is. So I'm not hiding anything. A lot of the mainstream media, they hide their bias and they call it objectivity. Oh, no, I'm not going to tell you my perspective. So they push in a certain direction without telling you. I'm straight up. I'm a progressive. Everybody watching the show knows that, right? We call ourselves homo progressives. But I'm unbiased in that I don't give a damn about either of the parties. So if you go to watch MSNBC, I mean, my God, Chris Hayes said one thing against the Democrat. Didn't even say anything against them. Just interviewed someone asking questions about Joe Biden. They're like, fire Chris Hayes, right? No, I don't care about the Democratic Party. So if you tell me, if you're a right-winger, you say, oh yeah, the Democratic Party, a lot of them are corrupt too. You're goddamn right they are. I'm not going to disagree with you. I agree with you, right? Because we're honest. So why are a lot of the corporate Democrats, which is the majority of the party, unfortunately, also corrupt? Because they also take campaign donations. The system is wrong. Even if you were a good person going in, which I sincerely doubt about Lindsey Graham or Mitch McConnell, but even if you were a good person going in, you're going to come out a terrible person because the thing that gets rewarded is taking the bribes and serving the oligarchs who bribe you. So this system is sick. wolf-pack.com. You got to go and you got to get an amendment to make sure that you help on this front and that you fight back. If you sit on your couch, you're never going to get any answers. All right, last thing about this, guys. It's obvious that they're enormous and overwhelming disdain against actual average Americans and certainly workers. But also that choice of words when we just passed 65,000 dead people in America because of this pandemic. We have more than 1.1 million cases. We have 1/3 of all the cases in the world. We lead the world in cases and deaths by a lot. And here comes a Republican senator in these times where people are getting carried out in body bags to say that he would increase unemployment over his dead body. Just when you think they can't get any worse. as always, there is no bottom to that barrel. And if there is, at the very bottom of it is guys like Donald Trump, Mitch McConnell, and Lindsey Graham. That's who they are. All right. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you for supporting this show. I just want to give a quick shout out to two people who did that in the middle of this video. Aiden Daniels, thank you so much for using YouTube Super Chat and doing what you did. Dangerous Shoes, thank you so much for becoming a TYT supporter on YouTube. If you want to do likewise, of course, you can always use YouTube Super Chat. And the join button is down below the video if you're watching on YouTube. And then you can get all of our videos at the highest level. Make sure you do that too if you can. And to support our audience funding drive at tyt.com/go. By the way, on Tuesday, mega show starting at 6 o'clock Eastern. Don't miss it. 4 hours, and I'm going to unveil the progressive plan to take over the country. It's going to take a while. It's a 5-year plan. There's a couple of fun surprises in there as well. I'll see you guys on Monday and probably throughout the weekend. Keep watching here because I do live videos. We all do live videos throughout the weekend. And of course, the show now with the guests starts at 5:30 every single day right here on youtube.com/TYT. All right. Love you guys. Keep up the fight. If we fight, we win.